Good Shabbos, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Oh, what a praiseworthy Shabbat. So that's good. I'm about to break a rule that I set for myself. I know Phyllis is already, your president is already shaking her head. She's like, you know, I backed this guy, and what's he gonna do? One of my pet peeves is when rabbis have young children and talk about their young children and how much they've learned from them, because it's like, congratulations, you're a parent. We've realized this for 30 years because our children are 30, but nice, welcome to the party. So I'm gonna break that rule because I was watching Cinderella with my kids a couple of weeks ago, and it was the newer Rob Stark Cinderella. I don't know if Rob Stark is an illusion that some of you get. It was a non-musical version, I think, and it was directed by Kenneth Branagh. And I was watching it, and okay, I started crying. Even though, if you didn't hear that at home, it was, "Aw," right? It was one of those, anyway. But I started crying because of how good the character was. I haven't watched a Cinderella movie since the animated movie, since I was probably 5 years old. I know, she's not happy about it either. She wants to watch the movie. I don't blame her, it's a good movie. But I remember the mice, right, the animated mice going, "Cinderella," right? That was the last time I had watched that movie. So I didn't remember a lot of the story, actually. And I didn't remember how good a person Cinderella was. And if you watch this version, the Kenneth Branagh version, she's a wonderful human being. And it was amazing. I was so moved by her kindness in the face of so many things. And yes, I know what I'm saying. I know that I was moved by Cinderella. I can drop a few levels in your minds, it's fine. You know, she had this fairy godmother, right? Helena Bonham Carter. And did you know that 50% of Americans believe in guardian angels? Right? This fairy godmother, this guardian angel. There's a scene from an otherwise somewhat disappointing show called Newsroom about this phenomenon of Americans believing in angels. But it means that people believe there's someone watching over us. And it reminds me of this week's Parsha. In the beginning of the Parsha, Yaakov has just run away from his brother for fear of his life. And we see the very famous scene of Jacob's ladder. And the rabbis talk about something interesting in this scene, because if you look at the verse closely, it says that the angels were going up and coming down, which begs an obvious question: going up first? Shouldn't they be coming down first? And the rabbis say it says going up first because there were angels with Jacob. And there were angels coming down, kind of a changing of the guard. You know, the Buckingham Palace, the beefeaters. They were the angel changing of the guard. But it meant that wherever Yaakov went, he was protected by angels. So this idea of angels, 50% of Americans believe in angels. We have these stories of angels. So what are they? Well, in some cases, they're the fairy godmother watching out for us, right? There's a very famous midrash of Moshe where a guardian angel stops him from picking something and puts his hand in some coal actually to protect him. But they're guardians. They're also prophets, right? If we look back at Parshat Vayera, when the three angels appear to Avraham and Sarah, they say, "You're going to have a child." And they're prophets and warning also, because those same angels go to Sodom and say, "Change your ways," and they want to see what's going on before God decides whether or not to destroy them. So if 50% of us believe that we have these angels, the question that I always have, being the person I am, is why? Why does Cinderella merit the fairy godmother? What do we do to merit these angels? In Cinderella's case, it's really simple. She's this wonderful human being, and so this fairy godmother either takes pity on her or honors her dedication to goodness and helps her along the way. Now, I don't know about you, but nobody's turning a pumpkin of mine into a Tesla, so I don't have the same kind of fairy godmother. But we do have angels in our lives. And sometimes they take the form of human beings. Sometimes, in Avram's case, they're messengers. They're people who come into our life for a moment and then leave us with a gift. In other cases, there's a beautiful story of when Hagar leaves Abraham's house. Hagar, his maidservant, who's the mother of Ishmael, starting the rivalry between Isaac and Ishmael, which comes into play every once in a while. But the story of Hagar is after she leaves Avram's house, she wanders into the desert, something we're all familiar with, and she loses hope. And she falls down on the ground and is ready to die and doesn't want her son to die, but doesn't want to watch it, but thinks she and her son are both going to die. And this angel comes, we're told, and says, don't give up. You're going to be the mother of a great nation, of the Ishmaelim. And when the angel leaves, it says that Hagar lifts her eyes and sees a well. What it doesn't say is that a well suddenly appeared, which means it was always there. She just couldn't see it. Angels exist in our lives. They take the form of teachers, family, yes, even family, and friends. And they give us the gift of being able to see something we may not have seen in ourselves. So what do we do to merit these gifts? What do we do to earn these angels in our lives? Do we all have to be as good as Cinderella? No. But we have to be human. We were learning earlier this week, our Hebrew High and I, we were learning about what it means to be a human being, what it means to be in our world with God. And there's a great quote by Maimonides, by Rambam. And he writes, the human species is singular in the world because no other species resembles it in the ability that man can, or humanity can, on their own initiative, with the knowledge and thought, know good and evil, and do what is right. We have these angels in our lives. We don't have to be perfect, but we do have to keep choosing to be good. This is a choice we make every day, and those angels in our lives will show us that way. They'll show us the well, maybe not a physical well, but they'll show us the source of life, the source of goodness. And then, if you remember the cartoons with the angel on one side, there's the other one, the other Yetzer, the other inclination. And sometimes we have to listen to them too. Sometimes we have to understand them, maybe not follow them, but listen. And we balance these good angels on us. We balance both of these, our impulses. And we keep striving. We don't have to be Cinderella. We don't have to be remarkable. We think we do. We think so often that we are unworthy or incomplete or deficient in some way. But no one is perfect. Maybe a Disney princess. But outside of that, none of us are. And so we keep striving. We keep moving. And we listen to the angels in our life. And if we're lucky enough, we get to be an angel for someone else. It's my hope and my prayer that this week is a week filled with angels. Maybe not turning your, clunker into a Tesla, but turning your life into something beautiful. Shabbat Shalom.